when people look back at the vehicular combat racing genre, people might remember some of the arcade style combat racers, like the Full Auto series, the Crash Tag Team Racing, and or the Crash Team Racing series. Hell, even Burnout, as well as what else? The Twisted Metal series, or what else? The kart racers like Mario Kart. However, we need to talk about the Hot Wheels video game genre that 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 has been introduced to vehicular combat. That's right. We have to talk about how 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 Mattel's little diecast toys had ventured into the vehicular combat genre, starting with one of the obscure Hot Wheels games that started it all back in 2002. No, no, no. We're not talking about Hot Wheels Velocity X. We're talking about the very first Hot Wheels vehicular combat game in 2002, before Velocity X, Hot Wheels Bash Arena. If anybody doesn't even know, vehicular combat is split between physical and weaponized, according to Gamer Alex. Physical physical car combat is something like is part of the genre, where you use only your car as a weapon, meaning you only need to battle your opponents using only your car. The weaponized car combat is something like Full Auto and Gas Guzzlers, where you use weapons to fight your enemies or rivals. Rockets, machine guns, miniguns, alongside with fantasy weapons like what you see in kart racers like Mario Kart, falls under here. Here. How, however, Hot Wheels had been exposed to both physical and weaponized vehicular combat. How how can Mattel's little diecast toys be introduced to vehicular combat? Let's let's see where it goes. Hot Wheel the Hot Wheels video games era all started back in the 1980s, way before Hot Wheels ventured into the vehicular combat. At it was just standard. It was just a little standard Hot Wheels game for the Commodore 64, just the Hot Wheels game. Then in 1998, the Hot Wheels video game genre had 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 later or had been brought back up with the introduction of Hot Wheels Stunt Track Driver. Or then in 1999, the Nintendo 64 and the PlayStation 1 had brought Hot Wheels Turbo Racing in our midst, where where we all thought that Hot Wheels Turbo Racing was a fun and unique arcade racer. It still is. Looking back at it, the graphics still hold up to this day. It doesn't. Well, it's not the best graphical game by any means. It's still enjoyable, and it's very much a retro game to enjoy. And for the record, I actually like how it is, where you can race your cars, stunt them, and crash them. Arguably, I consider that Hot Wheels Turbo Racing was the first Hot Wheels game to introduce vehicular combat in at to the Hot Wheels video game genre. I just certainly don't know. Oh, but I don't think so. But despite it has some of the power ups where you can wipe out other racers, I feel like it might be the first Hot Wheels game to incorporate vehicular combat because of one of the power ups, like the hammer and the rubber car power up, incorporating on how you could force the AI to wipe out, meaning 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 it might be the first Hot Wheels game to incorporate vehicular combat. But it all comes down to what we're finding actually. The Hot Wheels video game genre ventured into vehicular combat in 2002 during the THQ era Hot Wheels games. After Hot Wheels Burning Rubber in 2001, THQ decided to have Mattel's little diecast toys venture into much more of a combat sort of direction, and so they tasked Micro Forte to create a Hot Wheels game that nobody still doesn't know about, Hot Wheels Bash Arena. Now, Hot Wheels Bash Arena, this is actually the first Hot Wheels game to incorporate vehicular combat in it, featuring physical vehicular combat. As we all know, physical contact is something that just comes with racing. So this is much as physical car combat is much more enjoyable like Burnout. So this style of car combat has been very popular amongst other gamers. Again, physical contact is something that just comes with racing, and it's pretty fine. So even so, Hot Wheels Bash Arena all started the Hot Wheels games with vehicular combat in it. Where Hot Wheels Bash Arena features real vehicular combat, where you use the Hot Wheels car as a weapon. You physically had to fight. You physically had to take out much of the other Hot Wheels cars using only one of the Hot Wheels vehicles. A stronger vehicle may have to be required to do so. Oh, I wouldn't be going to the weakest car with horrible defense, and that would be bad. I suggest you guys have to go with one of the bigger vehicles, like Cabin Fever or Surfing School Bus or Exercise, if you will. So even so, Hot Wheels Bash Arena incorporates real vehicular combat as when you saw the Hot Wheels Bash Arena intro. Don't forget, you saw how Vulture took out so fast and caused it to not finish. Then you saw Evil Twin T-Bone Vulture and Evil Twin knocking Muscle Tone into quicksand. And that so even so, this is what real vehicular combat is all about. Even if you don't and also considering the fact that there's some good damage deformation on the Hot Wheels originals. Considering that there are license restrictions on licensed vehicles, Hot Wheels originals are excluded as Hot Wheels originals are just unlicensed fantasy toys, where if THQ hires a developer and wants to make a weaponized or a physical car combat game, and Mattel allows the developers and having the freedom to do whatever they want. And that creativity is what I love. Following Hot Wheels Bash Arena in 2002, we have Hot Wheels Velocity X. Now as Hot Wheels Velocity X still contains physical car combat from Hot Wheels Bash Arena, it features weapons. So you might say that it features physical and weaponized vehicular combat combined in two. So it's safe to say that you are able to still battle your opponents using your vehicle or a Hot Wheels car. It's still much better and fun with physical car combat, and regardless. I seriously think that Hot Wheels Velocity X X really feels like a much more of an arcade style combat racer with weapons like the plasma cannons and the magnet mines and also you have the ability to sideswipe opponents, causing them to incorporate car damage. Edge. Moving on, following a 5-year hiatus, as Hot Wheels would continue to feature vehicular combat. In 2007, Mattel and Activision and Technics Limited have introduced us to the world of Hot Wheels Beat That, where you would still continue to fight opponents physically. You have power-up weapons like rockets, parachutes, ice guns, Teslas, and airstrikes. It's pretty much more fun than just doing physical contact. And in most cases, you can supercharge your weapons, and meaning you can give them an upgrade where you can mess with your opponents even more. Or as I talked about previously on my What Went Wrong with Hot Wheels Beat That video, link is in the video description. I did mention that during the action of Hot Wheels Beat That, the weapons, some of the weapons imitates and act like what the Mario Kart fantasy weapons would do. Ranged weapons in Hot Wheels Beat That work like green shells or red shells, shockwave mines or banana peels, and the airstrike plays the spiny shell or blue shell to fuck over the leader. The EMP is considered either a power block, power up, or a lightning bolt power up. It's just very confusing which one. The EMP feels like it imitates the power block, considering that it destroys all weapons. But honestly, it doesn't really. But sadly, it doesn't imitate the power block at all. So honestly, it's sad. So honestly, it's kind of disappointing, cause I feel like I was going back and forth between Mario Kart Wii and Hot Wheels Beat That to see which the EMP imitates which power up from Mario Kart Wii, the power block or the lightning bolt power up. Neither of them? I probably ain't sure. I'm leaning more towards to the lightning bolt. I don't know. It just did not make no sense to me. I'm just rather split on which power up is which. Itch. Now, this was actually the last Hot Wheels. Was this the last Hot Wheels game to feature vehicular combat? I don't believe so. But in 2009, Hot Wheels had brought us another vehicular combat game with the introduction of Hot Wheels Battle Force 5. And mind me to tell you, this is based off of the television series that aired on the Cartoon Network, actually. And it's a children's vehicular combat game. Although it is vehicular combat like, at least it is. Battle Force 5 was released for the Wii and Nintendo DS. As I never played that game before, but I do know that the game features vehicular combat in numerous battle zones with the Sark and Vandals. The gameplay loop consists of Vert driving along the linear path to a designated point in the environment, engaging in vehicular combat with enemies, freeing one of his partners, and then using their vehicle in the following level. each vehicle has a unique ability, such as grenades and four-bladed buzzsaws. Wow! Now I feel now it's really pretty cool though. Sadly, I never ever got Hot Wheels Battle Force 5 for the DS nor the Wii because I don't have a Wii. But since I have Dolphin, maybe I can emulate it. It depending on what requirements I need for my PC because the Wii games runs at 60 frames per second. And now this is probably the last Hot Wheels game featuring vehicular combat actually. But that would all change by 2021. The Hot Wheels video game genre will later come back to vehicular combat with the introduction of Hot Wheels Unleashed in 2021. Created by Italian developer Milestone, despite it does not feature vehicular combat, but there's something you do not know. You are able to to smash your opponents and also have the ability to push opponents out of the way, using your boost and then causing other cars to spin out and crash into another car, or etc. The boost is only your weapon to cause your opponents to crash into something else or to make them spin out. Who knew? When I saw the Hot Wheels Unleashed 1's trailer, where Shark Cruiser rammed and sideswiped into Twin Mail, who later spun out and hit Rip Rod by mistake, you could tell that it's a physical vehicular combat game. So this marked the first time that the Hot Wheels game has incorporated physical vehicular combat since Bash Arena, or if you don't count as Hot Wheels Velocity X. Actually, while Unleashed 1 doesn't feature vehicular combat, you'll still be able to make other opponents spin out. Again, physical contact is something that just comes with racing, as physics engines allow for this combat. As Hot Wheels cars have rammers on them, despite not focusing or encouraging the combat. Just think about it for a while. Now the Hot Wheels vehicular combat games wouldn't be over until we see another Hot Wheels vehicular combat game. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged, where in present day, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged is still the go-to for arcade racing action and crazy hijinks, over-the-top racing action. And while Unleashed 2 Turbocharged introduced us new maneuverabilities like jumps and double jumps, there's some more differences. While you are still be able to drift to still receive boosts like do Mario Kart style power slides, you'll be able to use your boost for maneuverabilities, jumps, double jumps, and lateral dash. The double jumps are to jump over obstacles or jump over your rivals. So all you have to do is to keep drifting to keep your boost charged and ready. Then then and also we also have another maneuverability, lateral dash, a major returning maneuverability since Hot Wheels Velocity X. The the lateral dashes are to avoid obstacles or knock your rivals off the track. So this really so honestly, while boost is a while using boost to kick your rivals out of the way and making them spin out using lateral dash is actually a lot much more better. Knocking your opponents off the track and making them smash into into one of the track pieces and making them get stuck in parts of one of the track pieces, or get stuck, or get them crash into a wall where the hitboxes are, or is hilarious. It's, and and also to keep the beat that vibe snappy, you'll if a rival does try to knock you off the track, you could try and get even with that specific opponent if you want, or if not, you could just race on by and just ignore the rival as you flew right past that specific rival. While some people say that the AI is very effective with the lateral dashes and more, I feel like that using the ability feels like a much of a good idea. Milestone actually gave us and brought us a Hot Wheels physical car combat game into the mids. Despite its not encouraging or focusing vehicular combat, is lateral dashing count? Does lateral dashing even count? Out? Yes it would. Lateral dashing is another weapon you can use. With lateral dashing, you'll be able to mess with your opponents and bully them at one until the point they start to until they start to really know that the player will become a bother to them. Um, so always use your lateral dashing effectively, and and also, hell, if you want if another rival is up on your grill, well, don't be afraid to use the lateral dashing at all. On Discord, I already made some photos about the Hot Wheels cars I collected and put them on my bed, and showed everyone how Hot Wheels cars do physical car combat with each other. And no, there are no Hot Wheels licensed cars in sight. Just the fictional unlicensed Hot Wheels fantasy toys. Yeah, that's right. Here's I have some of the photos. I have some of the photos about them. Actually, I'll put them up and see I'll just put them up and see what and you'll see what I'm talking about. In this image, you see a scene where Nightburner is pushing Exercise out of the way. Surfing Scuba's took out a rock no rod while Evil Twin was trying to pull out in front. In this second image, here is Highway Hauler 2 trying to take out Exercise after it took out Radar Ranger. And here's the third image where Evil Twin was trying to take a rock no rod while it was in the lead out. I know, not that much proof, but 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 it was part of a what was supposed to be a footprint for my made up fictionalized Hot Wheels game called Hot Wheels Super Rumble. it's a combination between it's a combination of a burnout like experience where instead of using weapons, probably the Hot Wheels cars, only fantasy cars can implement some car combat. Maybe I might be able. Maybe I'll make the game into reality if I could find a sourceable game engine. Actually, I don't know, but I'm not going to be using Unreal Engine 4 nor Unreal Engine 5. No, thank you. If I had to pick a game engine, I would rather use Criterion Games as a renderer engine. Actually, the setting of Hot Wheels Super Rumble will take place in Hot Wheels City, where it would feature a world environment with some highways, loops, corkscrews. And on the flip side, you also have stadium arenas. What are the arenas all about? Well, the arenas will be where are gonna be the place where the Hot Wheels cars can battle it out. Similar to Hot Wheels Bash Arena, where your cars will be able to get crashed and get crunched. Also, if there's any judgment I have to make, if everybody wants power up weapons to be in Hot Wheels Super Rumble, I think I'll have the op. I might give everyone an option to put to put to. I think I might have the opportunity to bring in the weapons into everyone's mids. But it all comes down to whoever wants weaponized vehicular combat or just wants physical vehicular combat. It doesn't even matter. All that matters which if anybody isn't into weapons, I might give everyone the ability to turn the weapons off. So Hot Wheels Super Rumble is all about over the top racing action, crashing your Hot Wheels cars, and stunting them. So just like Hot Wheels Turbo Racing, you'll be able to race your Hot Wheels cars virtually and stunt them, and by extent, crash them. Also, I might be able to follow the footprint of what Milestone did with Hot Wheels Unleashed 2, where you can jump, stunt, crash also. Oh, I just don't know if I'm allowed to plagiarize that. It wouldn't be a good idea. Yeah, I just have some creative imaginations and what Hot Wheels games what made up Hot Wheels games I imagine in my head would come to reality. And some of those some of those photos I just showed really just said it all. You know how I am. I'm very creative. I mean, I the freedom to do whatever I can imagine. Like I could use my Hot Wheels car collection in all kinds of ways. I might get Hot Wheels play sets and see whatever it works for. So overall, off topic wise, let's get back to the Hot Wheels video games with vehicular combat history. So in conclusion, while the Hot Wheels video game genre remains some sort of a dead-like topic, not really, the Hot Wheels video game genre is still fine. Despite the controversy and the horrible reviews and other sorts, I know critics can be so cold, but in the end, it all comes down to what opinions that the critics bring to the table. I don't blame them. Despite Hot Wheels Beat That being the best game, but it's been marked the worst Hot Wheels game ever due to problems like the physics, its slippery handling, and other sorts. It's also Also, the Hot Wheels Beat That cars were or have some grip based handling though. Oh, I feel like Beat That feels more like a grip big base game. The game is heavily grip based. So I completely find it very unimaginable how an arcade racer has grip based. But likewise, but likewise, Hot Wheel, the Hot Wheels video game genre is still great to this day, despite the horrible, or bad, or average reviews from many critics. They are still remembered by most people, including myself. If there's any judgment I had to make, is that Mattel really needs to venture and have some time and spend some time and money on hiring certain developers to make a Hot Wheels game and bring them to the table. I know Hot Wheels Unleash. I know Hot Wheels Unleash is one of the options, but is it enough actually? Well, while the Unleashed games are still great even to this day, a the problem the problem starts to buckle in as the as the Unleashed games were meant to promote the actual diecast toys. So that's part of the advertising. Okay, stop. Let's just take a step back for a minute. Remember THQ? The THQ Hot Wheels games were not meant to advertise the actual Hot Wheels toys. Although a little although they did though. But that's okay. But honestly, those THQ era Hot Wheels games were were all were all were all were all were all what else? Licensed kid games. So they were marked for children. And they were actually marked for children since Hot Wheels is a children's car brand. Whatever opinion everyone has, whatever favorite Hot Wheels games are considered to be the best, my personal favorites what happens to go to Hot Wheels Beat That, Hot Wheels Unleashed, and its second game. I know Hot Wheels Beat That is the third worst Hot Wheels game, but even though it's the worst, it still has some good life in it because it took inspiration from both Mario Kart and MotorStorm, and Hot Wheels Unleashed took inspiration from both Speed Racer and MotorStorm too. Hot Wheels Unleashed 1 is a direct inspiration to MotorStorm. However, the Unleashed game, when it spawned a sequel, the it heavily it heavily went towards the inspiration of MotorStorm with some Speed Racer vibe in it. And it's just pretty much very interesting too. I just love how the Hot Wheels video game genre just took inspiration from various games. Hot Wheels Beat That took inspiration from Mario Kart and MotorStorm, and then Unleashed 2 Turbocharge heavily took inspiration from MotorStorm. I mean, it really was a surprise. But hey, maybe Hot Wheels can be inspired to from another game. Maybe another game that takes heavy inspiration from Mario Kart. But it all comes down to opinions. So, Hot Wheels Super Rumble. Maybe I might add some monster trucks and off-road trucks and ATVs and bikes into the mids. Maybe when I collect some more Hot Wheels cars and more Hot Wheels bikes. Yes, that's what I'm thinking about. Adding Hot Wheels Hot Wheels bikes and Hot Wheels ATVs into the mids. What else? A Hot Wheels snowmobile. We need Snow Ride in it. So in the end, while Hot Wheels don't have vehicular combat in them, their video game genre actually did venture into vehicular combat. Starting in 2002 with Bash Arena, and it's still going to this day in Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged, where Milestone had brought in much more wild vehicular combat fun in the mids. While Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged isn't a vehicular combat game, benefit or not, it's still a vehicular combat game. As when you saw as if you guys played the Clash Derby multiplayer mode, you could tell it was vehicular combat, physical vehicular combat. Monster trucks smashing into each other, Hot Wheels cars smashing into each other, using lateral dashes and boosting and moving aggro on such, really brought in hilarious chaos and fun. And hey, when I think of fun, I think of any type of fun in Hot Wheels games. Physical, weaponized car combat in Hot Wheels games. It shows that the Hot Wheels gaming genre really wants to want in on the vehicular combat market. What would be next to the Hot Wheels video game community genre? I don't know, but we have to see which publisher or developer wants to come in onto Mattel's little Diecast toys and see what they have in store. Will it be THQ Nordic or another company to make a Hot Wheels video game for us? We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see whatever news comes out. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if it's too long. But at least I just spoke out to I spoke out about what video I wanted to make. Thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.